need to really find. But I tell you, new infections is gradually coming down. It's gradually coming down, meaning that we are going to where we know the problem lies. And we are trying to respond to those problems. It's like when you don't know where the people are, and you don't know how to move in and with your intervention, then it becomes very challenging. And we have introduced a lot of initiatives. And maybe in the next 4 weeks, if you invite me to the station, I'll give you a different figure of what we are talking about now. Because for now, I don't want to quote. I just quoted that we have over 65,000. Last year, we were close to like 64,000. Okay? So we are putting our reports together, our semester report. And once we get our data in and we verify and audit the data, then we will churn that data out to the public.
Let's talk about PrEP. It sounds like a good part of the solution to the HIV problem. What's the quantity of PrEP we have in country, and how affordable is it?
We are giving out PrEP for free. Okay, it's free medication. And it's not only to sex workers. We have brought in men having sex with men, the key populations, you know, as beneficiaries of PrEP. We have a criteria, and once you go through that criteria and you meet the criteria, then we can enroll you on PrEP. And one thing about PrEP is that when we put you on PrEP, it's like we're not just leaving you that way. It's like every 6 months we monitor you. You will have to do tests, you know, to see how you have actually remained negative. And if you are positive, we'll put you on treatment. Because this is a medication we actually give out to people, and we explain to them how they have to use the medication. But you can never trust people. Maybe they will renege out of it, or actually following the advice. So that is why we actually do tests every 6 months on our clients that are PrEP. And it's also on demand. On demand in the sense that other people, like the general population, you can apply for it, you can request. But when you request, we have to ensure that you are really, really vulnerable, because we don't just want to throw it out. It's a very expensive medication. So it's available in country and it is free.
Why make it free?
Yeah, because we are trying to actually address people, and you know, so many people are vulnerable. And we want to address this issue of vulnerability. You know, we've been going out, we've been promoting condom use, but people are refusing to use condoms. And what we have done, okay, if people are refusing to use condom, like sex workers, because definitely they will tell you that when they don't use condom on me, they pay more. And when they use condom, they pay less. You know, and
but
because of the poverty situation, yes.
The vulnerability level of people significantly increases. First of all, you do at the saloons, for example, where negligence we know is a big problem in Sierra Leone, where people don't do as they ought to be doing.
Yeah.
And earlier on in the days of HIV and AIDS, early communication stages, it was part of the messages to people that you can contract it from anywhere, from the saloon, your barbing shop, even with a pedicure. If the wrong blade used on somebody who's infected is used on you within a specific time. So it tells you that risk of exposure, that technically puts everyone at a vulnerable status, especially when now you bring that to the sort of, for lack of a better way to put it, nasty situation of dating in Sierra Leone, where people are so promiscuous, sexually hyperactive everywhere, here and there. It puts almost everyone in the population at risk.
But you have to be mindful as well. If you just put it out for everybody's use, they don't follow the regimen. The problem that you will get will exceed the problem that you had actually wanted to address. For example, let me go to other medications, like malaria medications. We had chloroquine previously, and chloroquine was available everywhere. Even fancy that it was available everywhere because of abuse of those drugs. Or just take antibiotics. Okay, people are abusing antibiotics, so like the antibiotics are no longer working because people have abused it. So we are really mindful of that fact, that we don't want people to abuse that medication, because if they abuse, and the virus develop resistance. It's like the medication that we have now that is doing wonders for us. You give out that medication, it will no longer work. Where are we going to get the money to take people to second level, you know, treatment, or third level? Because the medications are very expensive.
Yeah, but it's given out freely as well. You could say, if it is sold at the cost, as should be, it also significantly perhaps eliminates abuse of the drug, because you're not getting it for free, you're buying it, and you've just said
then people
it's expensive.
Will die. Then people will die because there are people who cannot afford. So it's like if you don't make it available, their vulnerability is very high. Because for us sex workers, it's their own profession. You can never take them off the trade. So we want to ensure that in as much as you're continuing with your trade, just protect yourself and move with the trade. Are
you aware that in this generation, there's another set of sex workers who don't really hang out at the spaces and spots, you know? Some of these maybe new generation sex workers, so to put it, don't bother going out. They're so corporate. They're found everywhere.
Yes.
They're now having WhatsApp groups where they book with their clients to meet up. So there's a whole category of sex workers who are not at your usual spots, but they are in the business of sex work.
Yes, and in fact, relating to that, we are working closely with the Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Labor and Social Security. I think we have encouraged them and we've worked together. They have developed a workplace policy on HIV and AIDS. So, and very soon we are trying to see how we can support the ministry to come up with an action plan. And we are going to ensure that that policy, you know, and we'll give them all the required support for them to be able to monitor those policies. Because most often when policies are developed, they just lie on the shelf and gather dust. But for us, policies are meant to be implemented, and policies ought to have a lifespan. It's something that you cannot have it forever. So like if you have a policy that has a lifespan of 7 years, after 3 years you review and see the progress that you have been making. Because for us in HIV, I think one good thing about our own profession is that for whatever we do, we have a performance framework. And the performance framework actually monitors our progress. So after some time, we'll go and see how we actually monitor our performance. If it is not working, then we'll have to readjust to see how we'll be able to develop. And when we review again, any emerging things that are coming in there, we'll look at it. And I want to inform that we are, you know, in as much as we say we are doing progress, we're achieving progress towards meeting the SDGs. We have put in place mechanisms to ensure that if we meet this progress, we'll no longer go back to where we are before. Because what we are currently doing now, because of the progress that we have been making, and because of the new infection thing that you spoke about, we are currently working on a prevention roadmap for the country that will run up to 2030. And we are in dialogue now with key stakeholders, because for us, whatever strategy that we develop is a strategy for the people. So we have to engage. And also, we are working on a sustainable HIV roadmap for the country up to 2030. So these are the mechanisms that we are putting in place. And very soon, hopefully, we are going to do a FIA study. That is population HIV impact assessment. We really want to know the type of epidemic that we have, and we characterize our epidemic.